Buzzpound, thank you for joining us for season two, episode nine, coming off a victory against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Ian, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good. Definitely a really good win. Our best win by far of this year. Before that, I think the best team we beat was probably the Cowboys, unless you want to throw the Falcons in there. But now, definitely the Packers is the best team we beat. Going into Green Bay, I mean, it's automatically, in my opinion, really like one of the greatest home field advantages in all of sports. Playing in that stadium, I mean, those Packers fans are really serious about their team. I think it gives them automatically really like a 5 point advantage. Anytime you go into Green Bay, it's a really hard place to play, and there's a reason we haven't beat them in Green Bay since 2001. I mean, this team has went through some up and down years, but it's always hard, even regardless of how good your team is. It's hard to go into Green Bay and get the win, and we were able to do it.
Absolutely. Well, like you said at the beginning, a win is a win, regardless of how it goes. It all stacks up at the end of the day, and it worked in our favor. I'm going to go into a little bit of stats here. We ultimately won the game 16-13. Walk-off win, rookie kicker Ryan Fitzgerald hit a game-winning 49-yard field goal as time expired. Rico Dowdle continues to dominate at the running back position,
Yeah.
man. It's so exciting to see. He led the offense with 130 yards and two touchdowns on 25 carries. We also had some clutch defensive turnovers for his two crucial red zone turnovers, a fumble recovered by Christian Roseboom, and an interception by Trevon Moehrig. Man, that was an interesting game. Going into Green Bay, a lot of people automatically expected to be an automatic Green Bay win. Um, the way we played last week, I know we didn't have Bryce Young. I honestly was on the same boat, just knowing who this team is and just what that stadium is and that fan base is and the advantage they have at home. But ultimately, it worked in our favor. I'll take it. There was a point where Fitzgerald did miss a 48-yard extra point attempt. Um, it kept the game a lot closer than it should have been. I feel like that would have had us up a little higher than it ended, but regardless, we won. Bryce Young, he didn't have a great game moving the ball in the air. I know he's coming off injury, but Bryce Young finished with just 11 out of 20 for 102 yards with one interception. So that's what kind of we're looking at with the stats for that day. What are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, kind of unpack everything. Rico Dowdle has impressed me more than I thought, he would to begin the year. I think he was definitely one of the better free agent signings in the NFL this past offseason, and he's definitely been playing better than Chuba Hubbard. And I love Chuba, and I think Chuba's a good running back. I just think Rico Dowdle's on a whole nother level. He's shown that he's able to be a bell cow. I mean, we give him to him 25 times. He's had a couple earlier weeks. He's had a lot of carries. So, he's proven that he's able to be that bell cow running back, and he's really productive. I mean, he's just played really well. Um we held Micah Parsons to no pressures, which I thought was huge from our offensive line. Really, the game plan and kind of the scheme to eliminate him from the game, I thought was huge because I was really worried about that coming into the game. Because Micah Parsons is such a great player, one of the best in the league. And I'm really impressed with this win. Yes, it wasn't a crazy stat sheet stuffer. Bryce only threw for a little over 100 yards. He did turn the ball over, but we were able to get the win. I thought the defense played phenomenal. Really, really proud of this defense. I mean, it's not the defense we had in 2015, but these guys are playing really well. I mean, Derek Brown's playing. He's the best defensive tackle in the National Football League, in my opinion. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves. He's really good in the run. I mean, he shows effort. I saw one play where he pressured the quarterback and ran down the running back towards the sideline. I mean, never gave up on the play. He's a 330 pound guy running full speed and catching the guy. It was a running back route out of the backfield and catching the running back. I mean, yeah, that's way more than you could ask for. He's been a great leader on this defense. I think he really is. the leader of this defense, the leader we've been wanting for the past couple of years, especially out of guys like Shaq Thompson that didn't show this kind of just like, you know, leadership, leadership qualities and kind of all the effort that Derek Brown's put in. I'm just really proud of this defense. We've improved so much over last year, being the worst defense in the league historically, and this defense has done a complete 180. Yes, we definitely weren't perfect against Buffalo. We gave up a ton of points to Buffalo. Andy Dalton didn't put us in any good positions. Um, being at quarterback that game. But overall, comparative to last year, man, I'm really proud of this defense. It's a complete 180 considering all the points we gave up last year and how bad the defense was last year. Outside of really the Buffalo game, this defense has been really good all year. And I think the Buffalo, obviously the Buffalo game was an outlier, gave up 42 points, and which wasn't pretty at all. It was a butt whooping, but overall, this defense has played phenomenal and only giving up 13 points at home to the Packers was huge. Um, but yeah, man.
Well, they say defense wins games. I always hear that. And right now it's showing for us. Our defense is definitely better than our offense, I would say personally. Our offense still has a bit to grow, but I think those guys are starting to mesh a little bit. Canales seems to be leading these guys pretty well. I think at this point we got past the Bills, and that was like you said a butt whooping. Now we got past Green Bay, which is a win for us, which is huge. But at this point, we are in control of the rest of our season. We're going against the Saints coming up, which I think should be a win.
Mhm.
They got rid of one of their receivers today. I think a OL as well, offensive lineman. We also got the Falcons again. We got San Francisco, the Rams. Then we got a bye week. Then we play the Saints again, Tampa, the Seahawks, and Tampa once again. And I feel like these are some winnable games. Like I said, I genuinely think we are in control of the rest of our season. Also listening to other analysts and other personalities on YouTube talking about this win. You got some people saying that they could ideally see us getting to the 8 wins this season, especially coming off this win. I try not to get myself too amped up about it, but if we were able to get past the Packers the way we did at their territory, I think anything is possible. I'm not sure if I'll go as far to say we'll win the division, but we're definitely not the worst in our division, at least the NFC South. I think I'd definitely say the Saints are worse. Falcons are going through it right now. I think Tampa ideally would be the main competition where we are, but regardless, it's a huge win for us. We needed that. We've officially tied wins for last year, sitting at 5-2. So hopefully we can keep stacking the wins. And I know you mentioned the 8 wins. I'm gonna start to hop on board just a little bit, slowly but surely. I'm gonna let my belief in these guys increase little by little. I'm not gonna let it get me too riled up right now because I'm feeling good coming off this win, but I want to take it one game at a time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, sitting at 5-4 is right where we want to be. I mean, obviously going into we have two games coming up against should be winnable opponents with the Saints and then the Falcons again. Um, Really, we could be sitting at 7-4 potentially, which would be huge, and obviously meeting our win mark from last year. Um, just shows that we've already made improvements. I mean, unless we lose out for the rest of the year, we're going to be improved. Um, so I'm just really happy with this team, and they're more than what I expected last year, and I think we're moving in the right direction. Definitely, there's going to be some other tough games down the road. It's the NFL. Everybody's got a good roster, or everybody's talented. Um, even though the Saints are sitting at 1-7, it is the NFL. Anything can happen. So hopefully we get a win against them, and then follow up with the Falcons the week after, and the schedule, the stakes, like you said, we kind of control our own destiny. And I mean, the Bucks have quite a bit of injuries going on right now, especially with Mike Evans missing pretty much the rest of the season. Those guys are kind of getting beat up over there. And fortunately for us, we avoided the injuries. I mean, for the most part, everybody on the roster's been able to stay healthy. Bryce missed a week. Turk Wharton missed a couple of weeks, but for the most part, everybody's stayed healthy. And I think that's going to be huge for us moving forward. Um, but yeah, I'm just really pleased with this team. I mean, the Packers win is everything, even though it was a low scoring game. It was kind of a boring game, kind of a nasty game, and it came down to a game-winning field goal. That's more than you could ask for, especially playing in Green Bay with a team that's been so bad the past couple of years, and we haven't really had a win like that going into Green Bay or a place like that in years, it feels like at this point. You know, it's just really big for this team, and it's really big for this organization. It's definitely something to build off of going into next week, and for the rest of the season is going into Green Bay and getting a win.
Absolutely. And my apologies. I said 5-2. I wish we could say we were 5-2, but it's 5-4. My mistake on that. But yeah, hopefully this can keep the guys in a good mindset. Everybody, not just the players, but the coaching staff, Dave Canales, because that's a good win, on him as the coach. This is really big for him. And EJ Avaro, defensive coordinator, seems to be getting the defense in check now. I'm happy with what we're, looking like right now. Hopefully it's a step in the right direction and hopefully they can continue it. The rest of the season, it's far ahead, but even going into next year, hopefully they can keep this up. I mean, when they're starting off 0-2 and things like that, I mean, it's not ideal, but they seem to be turning it around in a positive direction. I mean, you even had, like I said, you got analysts on ESPN or people such as Chad Chocinco even chanting, keep pounding. He's a big fan. I'm not sure if you saw any of those clips or not, but he actually likes where the team is. And that makes me happy seeing that, you know, big personalities like that are starting to, notice what we're doing right now. And I just hope we're able to keep it going, man. It feels good to be coming off a win like that. Like you said, I mean, we know what Green Bay has been over the past decade or so. They've been one of those dominant teams. And just to get that win at their home since 2001 is huge. But yeah, man, I'm over the moon about it. I'm gonna take this victory week and enjoy it while we got it. Because with these guys, you never know sometimes, but a win is a win.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. I mean, going in the Saints game, I would expect, hopefully Bryce Young has a significantly better game. The Saints team's kind of lacking in a lot of spots. Obviously, getting just dealing Rashid Shaheed at the trade deadline doesn't help. They really only have one solid receiver anymore at Chris Olave. But, hopefully that's another win for us, I would imagine. It should be. They haven't really been able to run the ball all year. Kind of have some question marks at quarterback, Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. Both quarterbacks likely to turn the ball over, which would be huge for the defense, but we just can't move backwards. I would expect another win, just with the Saints because they're not a good football team. But like you said, you never know in the NFL, you never know with this team, but we're moving in the right direction and we're trending in the right direction and trending up in the league. And I think people around the league are starting to notice us a little bit, and start to give us the credit, that we haven't gotten a long time. Everybody's kind of just looked at the Panthers as the laughing stock of the league, and we're kind of starting to get some recognition. And, you know, people are starting to notice guys like Derek Brown and, you know, the other guys we got on the team. And Ted McMillan still continues to look really good. Really happy with him. Happy that we got him at 8. I was a little skeptic about it early whenever we first drafted him. But I'm really happy with it now. He's really turned into that kind of, you can see the wide receiver one kind of projection that we have for him. He's been a reliable target and played really well throughout the year and really sure hands too. He hasn't dropped too many passes, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, not the most shifty guy, but he knows how to get open, and that's the main thing. Since he's been got his first touchdown, he's been giving us at least one per game. So I'll take that over anything. I mean, he's been what we wanted out of Leggett ever since we drafted him. But yeah, man, I mean, win is a win. Hopefully, we can keep this momentum, keep going in the right direction, and couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, you want to go into some Hornets? They kind of went on a cold spell as soon as we got done recording last week.
Sure did, man. Playing the Miami Heat last Tuesday, October 28th. Final score ended up being 144, 117. That was a pretty big loss there. That one got away from us quick. We were texting throughout that game. Just some brief stats. LaMelo Ball, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Con Knipple, 19 points, 5 of 11 three-pointers. Miles Bridges, 17 points. And Ryan Kalkbrenner, 10 points and 6 rebounds. Just one of those, again, just one of those things that we do, man. We win maybe first two games and kind of get on a little losing streak there. But I do want to shout the rookies out. Con Knipple, like I said, 19 points. Kalkbrenner, 10 points, 6 rebounds. That's pretty huge. November 1st, Minnesota Timberwolves, 122, 105 loss. Miles Bridges led the team with 30 points, 6 out of 11 three-pointers, and 8 rebounds. LaMelo Ball, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Moussa Diabate, 11 points, 9 rebounds. Colin Sexton, only 9 points. Just a shooting slump for the entire team, really. We know what the Timberwolves are. Rudy Gobert, he had 15 rebounds, 14 turnovers as well. When it results to that, it's not going to be a successful turnout. But rookies again, Con Knipple, 5 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 blocks. Zion James, 8 points, 2 out of 3 field goals, and 2 of 2 three-point attempts, and 2 rebounds. And the final game completed up to this point versus the Utah Jazz on Sunday, November 2nd. Final score 126 to 103. That was a win for us. Miles Bridges scored 29 points. Con Knipple, a career high, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Colin Sexton, 10 points, 12 assists. Moussa Diabate, 17 points, 12 rebounds. Yeah, man. That's kind of where we're sitting at with these guys. Shout out to the rookies. Our rookies have really, joined this team and really shown what they're about, which I'm happy to see. Of course, Con Knipple, but Zion James, I do want to give a shout out to him as well. He's finding his role. They may not play him as much as Knipple and Kalkbrenner, but he's making a name for himself on our roster as well. So I like it. And tonight we go up against the 0-6 New Orleans Pelicans. Currently, we're sitting at 3-4. They will be playing at what is it, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. So I'll be tuning into that game. I'm sure you'll have it maybe in the background at least. But I saw today that they are without Zion Williamson for about 10 days, which is pretty typical with him at this point. So hopefully that can give us somewhat of an advantage. But again, like the Panthers with these guys, you never know. They can be hot at some point, and then it could be a shooting slump of some sort. You can't call it. But right now we're sitting at, like I said, 3-4, and hopefully at some point we can start stacking some more wins because we started off pretty solid. But what are your thoughts overall over the past bit of games?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was disappointed that we went on a couple game slid, kind of lost two tough games back to back. It was rough, and obviously now kind of starting to deal with some injuries. I mean, LaMelo Ball is out tonight against the Pelicans, which hopefully we won't need him. But it's that ankle that's given him issues every single year he's been in the league. And still without Brandon Miller, it looks like he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks as of today. We need these guys back, just missing time without Brandon Miller and even LaMelo Ball has already kind of given me flashbacks to the past couple of years. And it was devastating to lose Brandon Miller in like the second game of the year. It was really horrible. But yeah, the rookies have stepped up. Obviously, we sent down Tijan Salon to the G League today, I believe, which was kind of shocking to me a little bit. He is only 20 years old, so still got plenty of room to develop, and he probably does need to play quite a bit every day. I think that would help him a lot with his development, um, playing quite a bit down in the G League. But yeah, hopefully, we're sitting around that 500, right about that 500 mark. I would expect, who knows with this team, but hopefully we get the win tonight against the Pelicans. They're obviously missing Zion Williamson, who's missed a lot of time throughout his career already too. I remember when people were comparing him to the next LeBron James, and you know, he hasn't turned out. He's just been hurt his entire career, which was kind of his Achilles heel. Everybody's worried about him getting hurt in the league, and it's kind of you know, ruined his career as of right now. He still is really young, but hopefully we get the win. I'm optimistic. Um, don't have high expectations for this team, especially missing our stars, but hopefully the rookies, Con Knippel and Ryan Kalkbrenner, hopefully they continue to play well. And Zion James obviously has surprised me quite a bit. Liam McNeely kind of looks in over his head a little bit in the minutes he's gotten. I'm surprised we haven't sent him down to the G League yet, but he kind of looks overwhelmed whenever he's on the floor. Definitely kind of a development piece for him. Hoping he can kind of get his feet under him and start to play better. But he's kind of a liability was on when he's on the floor, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I feel like it's any day now before we hear he gets sent down. He needs a little bit of developing before just being completely thrown in the fire, and that's what the G League is there for. So I feel like in due time he'll get sent down. Probably between him and Tijon are probably going to be doing a lot of back and forthing between the G League and being on the full Hornets roster in Charlotte. But you hope for the best. Both the young guys, Tijon, he's already got I think a year already under his belt.
Hmm.
McNeely, we saw what he was in college. I think with the proper, development, I think he could be, uh, become a solid guy in the league. I hope so. I hope the best, especially you just supporting your team. You hope everybody develops somehow. 'Cause we got a young team. It's just kind of like you just can't really have high expectations with this team, but there is talent. It's just a matter of health. And when you have nights like this, when you're without both LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, it's just like, what are the chances? Because Miles Bridges, I mean, although he can put up 30 points easily, I don't see him as that guy who can put the full team on his back and can win the game. It's going to have to be a team game. Everybody's going to have to, play their part the right way. So it's kind of where I am on that. This should be a winnable. Well, if we had at least LaMelo Ball, it could be a winnable game, but we'll see. We could be surprised, all we know. Because I feel like they're in a similar boat. I mean, they're just, smaller marketed organization. They got Zion, we got LaMelo, but both deal with injuries. So, they miss time, they come back strong, but then they miss some more time. But we just have to see, man. Basic Carolina or at least Charlotte sports fandom, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a good thing we have the Panthers right now. I never thought I'd be saying that right now. But the Panthers definitely are fun to watch. Even though we don't put up a lot of points, we're not flashy and we're not, we're winning it gritty. By playing good defense. But yeah, man, I mean, we're in the same boat really with the Pelicans, and tonight gives the opportunity for the younger guys like the rookies to really step up and play an important role. I think that's, going to be huge for tonight, like guys with like Con Knippel and Sion James, take that next step and hopefully get a lot of playing time because we are missing some important pieces. And, hopefully we can go on a little win streak. That'd be nice. Hopefully we get LaMelo back. It doesn't seem like he's going to be out for extended period of time. It sounded like just some ankle soreness, which I think is going to be a problem for him throughout his entire career because I hate to say it, but his ankles might be made out of glass at this point. He's had ankle injuries pretty much every year. I think that's been his big problem with injuries is his ankles. So we either need to get him some ankle braces or something like that. I know he refuses to wear them for some reason, but you know, he needs to be on the court performing, and he hasn't been. He's missed a lot of time for the past 2 years. So him and Brandon Miller both. So I'm hopeful for tonight. Hopefully we can get the win, and obviously we'll talk about it on the next time we record. But
Yeah, man. We just have to see. And like you said, his ankles, he's got some of the most delicate ankles I've ever seen, but that's what ankle braces are for. I mean, we've seen the greatest shooter of all time in Steph Curry come in the league and have ankle injuries all the time. But once he put those braces on, they didn't happen nearly as much, and we saw what he's become. So they're definitely beneficial, in my opinion. But um, yeah, man, that's all I've got today for both Panthers and Hornets. You have anything else?
No, man, kind of a shorter episode today, but we will return next week. Buzzpound, we appreciate y'all joining us for another episode of the Buzzpound Podcast. As always, you can follow us on both X and Instagram at Buzzpound Pod, and you can find our podcast on both Spotify and YouTube.
And as always, we're the Buzz Pound. Keep pounding and keep the hot mentality.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Buzz Pound. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and let us know what you thought of this episode. Until next time, this is the Buzz Pound.
Touchdown!